distinguished guests, citizens, and friends. We gather today unified in hope that by working together, we will build a future where every single person in our community, from all walks of life, can enjoy peace, health, and safety here in the home that we love. It is fitting today that we acknowledge the work of those who have striven for a present and a future where we are safe and free. I would like to honor the memories of those who are no longer with us, but who have made a lasting mark on our community through their public service. The first ever Berkshire County District Attorney, Anthony Roberto, and his successor, the beloved Jerry Downing. I would very much like to welcome and to thank both District Attorney Capeless and District Attorney Cacchiavello for their long-standing service and commitment to Berkshire County. The Berkshire County District Attorney's Office has seen no finer nor more effective a trial lawyer than David Capeless. Achieving excellence as a trial attorney requires rigorous focus. District Attorney Capeless has met that challenge time and again in his work to bring justice to the people of Berkshire County. The Berkshire County District Attorney's Office has likewise seen no truer gentleman than Paul Cacchiavello. District Attorney Cacchiavello has lived up to his well-deserved reputation as a gracious opponent. He sets the standard for aspiring prosecutors for respectful and courteous conduct. With Paul, one cannot help but make a friend out of an opponent. I'm truly grateful to him for his kindness and support during the transition. I would like to thank members of the judiciary and court personnel that have joined us today. We are honored by your presence. These are the people who work day in and day out without fanfare and with tremendous dedication to uphold the rule of law and to bring justice to our community. And our local law enforcement, who maintain the highest standards of professionalism and who have shown a willingness to adapt and engage with the community in new ways to build the trust that is needed to create safer and healthier communities. I thank you for being here today, and I look forward to joining you in your work. I also want to honor the presence of the many community activists here with us today. My friends, the rabble-rousers, who serve as the conscience of our community as they strive and push for racial justice, equality, economic justice, transparency, and accountability by speaking truth to power. It is with you where my heart lies, and I know that you will not let me forget where I come from. I would like to especially thank my family, my grandparents, Anthony and Janet Blasioli, my parents, Susan and Bill Harrington. My family taught me the value of hard work and that the true meaning of life is to commit to a purpose that is greater than myself. And to my husband, Tim, and my boys, Frankie and Ennis, who give me courage. That we have all come together here today is a testament to the strength of our community. Like many of you, my family has deep roots here in Berkshire County, and we are well aware of the challenges that our community faces due to the sharp rise of income inequality. Nowhere do we see the effects of the economic hardship more dramatically than in the courts of Berkshire County. Despite the dedicated work of law enforcement, judges, probation, court personnel, and many others, we continue to see the devastating effects of addiction, high rates of domestic and sexual violence, along with an alarming and rising rate of gun violence. People of color and our LGBTQ plus friends remain overrepresented in the criminal justice system and are fearful of law enforcement. Our community, like many others across the Commonwealth and the nation, have at long last awoken to the truth that people of color have preached to us for generations now. That is that our system of justice can and must do better. These challenges are daunting, but more than anything, every person in this room today gives me hope that we can build a safe and healthy community for every single person in Berkshire County. A friend of mine taught me that hope is a practice. Hope is not blind optimism in the face of overwhelming evidence to the contrary. Hope is a choice, sustained by surrounding ourselves with like-minded, justice-leaning people, continuing to do our personal part in the work of justice, and the knowledge that a different world is absolutely possible. I ask you to imagine a Berkshire County that is free of sexual and gender-based violence, free of gun violence, a county where we don't fear that our children will fall prey to addiction, and where people of all colors and genders and ages and sexual orientation feel safe and protected. I can imagine it, and I ask that the people in this room work shoulder to shoulder with me to achieve it, because nobody else is going to do it for us. As the district attorney, I vow to do my part, and the people on this stage in the district attorney's office will join me in that effort. We will use the power of the district attorney's office to bring innovative solutions that challenge the criminal justice status quo in order to build a safer and healthier community. We will aggressively prosecute those who prey on others. As the first female district attorney, I promise to commit the resources of my office to prosecute cases of sexual and gender-based violence. I will work to build a culture in Berkshire County where victims are believed, and I will educate this community that testimony from a victim is valid evidence. We will work to ensure that domestic abusers are prosecuted and held as the dangers that they are. But I vow to do more than to prosecute dangerous criminals and put people behind bars. I vow to work with community partners to prevent crime from happening, because that is how we will truly have a safe and healthy community. One of the biggest challenges that our community must grapple with are the crimes of desperation, bred from despair and a lack of opportunity. We will address this reality by routing low-level offenses out of the criminal justice system at the start. Where appropriate, we will make incarceration the exception and diverting people from prison the rule. We well know that locking people up makes them more prone to committing offenses in the future. We understand that our community is better served by interventions like drug and mental health treatment and restorative justice approaches where victims are honored. We will implement a robust juvenile diversion program that treats kids like kids, because children believe what we tell them, and if we tell them that they are criminals, they will take on that identity. We will end the devastating impact of the criminal justice system on poor people by reducing our reliance on cash bail and eliminating fines and fees that people cannot reasonably afford to pay. We will refuse to be passive in the face of cruel and misguided policies from Washington. We will consider the immigration consequences in charging and sentencing for non-violent offenses to help our friends and neighbors avoid unjust deportation. This approach is the essence of a bold 21st century vision of prosecution. Do not mistake reform for weakness. Fairness and safety are not a trade-off. They complement each other. Understand that in a democracy, people tend to value and uphold the law when they perceive it as fair. As a 21st century prosecutor, I will be pragmatic and will focus on the well-being of the communities that elected me. My vision for a modern approach to prosecution here in Berkshire County is part of a larger movement that has swept across the Commonwealth and the nation. But most importantly, it is a transparent, pragmatic approach to the tough challenges that our community faces. I don't pretend that the task at hand is easy, but if we can imagine a community that is safe and healthy, we can achieve it by working shoulder to shoulder with like-minded, justice-leaning people who continue to do our work in the interest of justice. My vision for the role of the district attorney is informed by my experience of growing up here in Berkshire County, by my conviction that women's pain matters, by my work in the courts, and by my sense of responsibility to protect the vulnerable. I know that I am not alone in feeling that we live in times of peril both locally and nationally. I have seen the looks of anguish on many parents' faces as they worry about their children who struggle with addiction. I have spent time on the West Side listening to residents' concerns about violent crime. What is playing out nationally right now is not the America that I thought we were. I will always remember that feeling that I had late into the evening on November 8th, 2016, when I looked in on my sleeping boys and I watched them curled together in my bed and feeling that my generation, Generation X, had failed to support and protect our children. We let them down. But rather than give it to despair, it is up to us to double down by working to change the things that we can right here in our own community. And while these realities are sobering, we are living in a time of great opportunity for Berkshire County and for Massachusetts to lead the way on building a criminal justice system that is based both on fairness and justice. We are part of a national movement for smart, safe, effective criminal justice reform. Berkshire County can and should be a shining example of modern 21st century fair and just prosecution. I am humbled and honored by the privilege to serve my community that I love as your district attorney. I thank you for your faith in me, and I ask for your partnership in building a safe and healthy community for all of us, where our children can flourish and can return to raise their families. Thank you.